Hello! Welcome to Movie Debrief. Today's videos is a movie titled Restore Point. It's 2041. Violence and crime have reached new heights due to increasing social and economic inequality. To avoid this, European Union authorities have given citizens the right to recover in cases of serious illness. The technology is known as a recovery site, where users have to reset their brain data every 48 hours in a luxury building in the city, where many people are trapped. Inspector Emma soon arrived and searched the entire house for signs of life. However, the villain has covered the walls to block all scans. Emma calls the people at the station, and they explain that there is no guide, but the sign is from someone named Florence. At that moment, Emma heard a gunshot indicating that the criminal had killed one of the prisoners. Ignoring all the team's warnings, she entered and finally broke through the barred room door. As the body lay on the ground, the criminal tried to run away. When Emma asks about his recovery point, he replies that it's nothing. She follows him up to the roof and promises she won't hurt him. But the man says he chose freedom and jumps. Emma looked down to see his corpse on the floor. Later at home, Emma tries to play the piano, but her husband reveals that he has written an entire concerto on it. When the time is right, they discuss boundaries, share with each other, and work, but suddenly the person disappears. Emma seems to be watching an old video call because her husband is dead. After that, he placed the device on her head to start the attachment and went to work. While driving, he heard on the radio that all the attacks were done by a group called the River of Life, which was against the Restore Point technology. For this reason, the management of the company wants to raise the issue of the privatization of the business. At the station, Emma meets the captain, who reprimands her for ignoring orders and missing a criminal. Emma explains that even though she waited for the customers, nothing changed because the villain waited until the victim's recovery time was over before killing them. Unfortunately, Europol suspects that Emma hit him on purpose, so they want to withdraw the case. The captain is worried because Emma's husband was murdered by the River of Life, so she may be hungry to get back at them, but he gives her a new case to work on. At night, Emma comes to a dangerous place where a couple has died. Interestingly, the bodies were the founders of Restore Point, David and his wife, Christina. The bodies have already been taken away to the Restore Point, and the police use holograms on the scene, but Emma is forced to turn them off when she finds a necklace in the pool of blood. When she saw the condition of the bodies and their wounds, she said that the killer was kind to the woman, but bad to the man. The next day, the CEO of the institute, Rohan, held a press conference to express his sympathy for the dead, but also to say that he is not afraid of terrorists. He is certain that the river killed the couple, and says that this is why privatization is important, demonstrating little concern for the implications for the underprivileged. After the meeting concludes, Rohan informs Emma that she has the tools at her disposal to apprehend the offender. He leaves her with his assistant Petra, though, and declines to respond to her inquiries. Emma is then given a tour of the facility and witnesses the team's work in saving the life of a boy who was involved in a car accident. She also notices two parents sobbing, and Petra tells her that David had wanted to introduce real-time backups because their daughter couldn't be restored because she hadn't made regular backups. Emma queries David about why he didn't have a backup. Petra responds that he did, but it was erased due to hacking. However, Christina had not backed up the technology for the previous 4 months because she was uninterested in it. Emma is asked by Petra not to tell anyone about this information. Emma later goes through the couple's files and discovers a link to a man named Victor, who was previously charged with having ties to River of Life, but was dropped for lack of proof. She discovers photos of him from the attacks, one of which even shows him donning the identical necklace she picked up from the crime scene. Emma quickly obtains a warrant after calling the station, so she dashes to her car. She is shocked to find that someone is at the parking lot waiting for her. David is the one who has in some way recovered. David refuses to speak with the police, even though Emma wants to bring him to the station. He requests Emma's assistance in getting something from his house. Because solving the case would jeopardize Rowan's privatization plan, he is certain that Rowan won't allow her to. And for that reason, he kept David's survival a secret from Emma. David is pushed into Emma's car and they drive away. David says he's missing a lot of memories because he was restored from a 6-month-old backup during the trip. He won't last very long due to the side effects of restoring backups that are too old. When they finally arrive at Victor's house, Emma locks David inside the car. David listens on the radio as she enters the house and hears the officers claiming that the man inside is Christina's murderer. Getting desperate, David searches for the emergency lever and manages to open the car doors. Inside the house, Emma finds Victor, who says David deserved it. He immediately surrenders and reveals a weird device in his hand, saying he'll gladly answer every question as long as he gets a fair trial. Emma notices a gun on the table and takes it while Victor keeps on talking, saying Christina hadn't been afraid of death like the system wants everyone to be. At that moment, David bursts in and Victor is upset to see him alive. He swears he tried to save Christina, but he was too late because David had already killed her. Then he tries to attack David, only to be quickly stopped by Emma. The three of them fall to the ground, and Victor uses the chance to run away. However, David grabs a fallen gun and shoots him in the shoulder. This doesn't stop Victor from escaping, and he jumps off the balcony to run through the forest. Emma immediately chases after him and shoots in the air to scare him, but Victor just keeps going. Sadly, Emma trips and falls into a large mud puddle where the entangled plants make it difficult for her to swim. David then shows up and assists her in leaving. They hear police cars pulling up, so David tells her he will tell her everything, and asks her to meet him by himself down the road in an hour so they can leave. Soon after, Agent Mansfield believes Emma's car being opened is suspicious as Europol surrounds the area. Mansfield tells her to just shoot Victor the next time, but he also reassures her that everything is well. Emma meets David an hour later, and he promises not to hurt Christina. Additionally, he admits that he stole Victor's device and explains that the Institute's servers were hacked using it. The item is a key that is a component of 3. You have complete access to the system if you have them all. One is kept secure. David owns this one, and Rohan has the other one. Emma surmises that Victor killed him in order to get the key, and after David clarifies that no one is meant to be aware of the key's existence, Emma speculates that Christina might have been a terrorist because she was missing her backup. David asks to be taken home to look for hints because he doesn't think it's true. When they arrive at David's house a short while later, Emma tells him they have 15 minutes to wait for Europol. As soon as they enter, David discovers that items in his home are in different locations, which he attributes to his lost memories. Emma chooses to keep an intriguing picture she discovers when she opens a box. When David logs on, he finds that a virus has infected the Institute's computer system, destroying his backup and attacking other random ones, leaving many users without a working restore point. David opens the box to discover Christina's backup device, which is missing the backup itself, as well as some videos and injections. David then dashes to a painting that reveals itself to be a hologram guarding a safe, but he is unable to recall the password. Europol arrives at that precise moment, so the two head out the back door with the box. At Emma's residence, David demonstrates how the injection helps with the side effects by administering it to himself. Subsequently, David begins viewing the videos on the box, showcasing numerous tender moments spent with Christina. Emma cuts him off to show him the photo she discovered, proving that Christina and Victor were indeed acquainted and likely even had an affair. Emma then goes to the station, where she finds out from Mansfield that David is still alive and that the police are aware of the virus. Abruptly, Rohan shows up to join them, confirming that he brought David back to life despite it being against the rules because he is an old friend. Mansfield, though, doesn't think he's telling the truth and believes Rohan brought David back to hide the fact that his system lost a backup. Petras is among the thousands of backups that have now been lost to the virus, but Rohan and Mansfield won't tell anyone about it. Emma charges them both with being egotistical and defending the privatization scheme. When Emma returns home from the meeting and finds that David has collapsed, she gives him another injection right away. To their astonishment, David ducks into Emma's room before she opens, and Mansfield materializes at the door. Emma acts as though she has no idea where David is when Mansfield asks where he is. David becomes enraged as a result of Mansfield's insults towards Christina. He is instantly overpowered by Mansfield, who arrests him after hitting his head on the piano. Mansfield aims his gun at Emma as she goes to assist him. She won't be able to recover the data she has since she didn't back up the previous day. Emma jumps on Mansfield after surreptitiously pressing a key on the piano to activate her husband's hologram. Mansfield is going to shoot Emma when they fall to the ground after fighting over the gun. But Emma grabs her own gun and shoots Mansfield dead after David hits him from behind. Emma then uses her police car to fool everyone by having it take off on autopilot while she and David flee in her vintage car, which is untraceable due to its lack of artificial intelligence. They need information because finding Victor is their top priority in order to stop the virus. Emma takes them to a seedy nightclub where all sorts of illicit activities take place, including Russian roulette. She pays the clerk for a scanner and an untraceable phone after speaking with him and getting words imprinted on his teeth. They find that Victor might be at his aunt's house by using the scanner and the picture from the box. When the two of them arrive at the picture's location in the morning, Victor's Aunt Theresier greets them and informs them that Victor departed 2 years prior. She also shows them the wanted ads in today's newspaper, which feature their photos. The two decide to accompany Theresier inside after she explains that her house is tech-free and that she is unable to call the police to report them. As they eat together, Theresier reveals that Victor left because he was having trouble finding housing, where he belonged, and that River of Life doesn't actually exist. It's just a made-up group used for propaganda. Theresier also believes that deleting backups isn't murder, it's just natural death. Since David is still feeling the side effects, they agree to spend the night there. Suddenly, he starts playing the piano, and he admits this is the first time he's ever touched one. Explaining the Institute started a new experimental program that could implant new abilities right into the backup memory. He never revealed this program to the public because it could be used for dangerous means. That night, Emma notices some strange movement around the house and decides they need to leave after all. Later at the car, she considers doing a backup, but David reminds her activating the device will make them trackable. Abilities right into the backup memory. He never revealed this program to the public because it could be used for dangerous means. Teresier and demands to know where Victor is, so Teresier responds by turning on the TV. The news show that Petra died permanently because of her lack of backup. Emma convinces Teresier that she only wants to help, and is sent to a room in the back while David stays behind. He can't stop coughing, and Teresier offers him a glass of water, but as soon as he's distracted, she tases him down. In the other room, Emma finds Victor and immediately arrests him. Victor once again asks for a fair court, promising to reveal the truth behind all the deaths. He confirms River of Life is Rohan's lie, revealing he uses terrorist to attacks to make people scared of death and buy his product. Victor had evidence of this and gave it to Christina. The conversation is interrupted by Teresia bringing David as her hostage, threatening to kill him if Emma doesn't let Victor go. As soon as Emma releases him, Victor runs away, so Emma tackles Teresier to take the taser and goes after him. A chase ensues, and when they make it outside, Emma shoots Victor with the taser, causing him to fall on the street and get hit by a passing car. The driver is unconscious, but the car AI has already called for help. Seeing no other choice, Emma starts backing up Victor's mind against his will. To prevent the tracking, David covers Victor with special material he found in the house, which can block signals. Inside a little pouch Victor carries, Emma finds a mysterious backup memory. Both Emma and David then try chest compressions, but it's pointless. Victor dies after the backup is done. The duo puts the body in the car and take off, looking away when they see the cops drive by. They agree they need to restore Victor, but they'll be caught in the Institute. So David remembers he left his first prototype at the university where he created it. Meanwhile, back in the church, a restored Mansfield has found Katrina's picture. Later at the university, David and Emma put Victor in a tank to start the restoration process. While they work, Emma shares what Victor said. Although David argues that he was unaware that Rohan was the brains behind River of Life, he cannot dispute that the company's success is largely due to the fear sparked by the terrorist attacks. He makes a vow that he would have resigned if he had known. After Emma acknowledges that she has a plan, David responds that Katrina wanted Florence for her child's name. She asks the captain for assistance as well, but he disapproves of her plan. Emma asks David to back himself up before he loses all of this information again when Victor finally wakes up. When the Institute notices some strange activity occurring at the university, Rohan tells them it must be a student acting silly. Rohan ends the call and sends his men to pursue the group. Victor is upset that he was given a second chance at the university, but Emma dismisses him and presses for details. Victor clarifies that Rohan's motivation for wanting to kill him isn't the virus. Rather, it's because he removed all of the money Rohan had sent to the terrorists in exchange for their attacks. However, Victor doesn't have those files anymore because he gave them to Christina, who said she would show them to David because a report coming from someone in the company would actually be believed by the cops. The files are in the safe, which means David did kill Christina. He was planning to pin the murder on Victor and bring Christina back from an older backup, which explains why he had the injections ready. When Victor discovered that Christina was dead, he sent the virus to delete her backup so she couldn't be brought back because she was against the idea. A furious David punches Victor, but Emma pulls him away before taking out the disc she found earlier, realizing it's Christina's backup which had been stolen by Victor. Suddenly, they're interrupted by the arrival of Mansfield, who has been working for Rohan all along. He takes Emma's gun and then shoots Victor. So Emma agrees to give her the password for the safe to calm him down and reaches into her bag. After passing the information to Rohan, Mansfield she activated it at the last second when she reached into her bag. The next day, Emma is restored, and she learns from the captain that Rohan and Mansfield got jail time. But David was released because influential people want him to still work on the Restore Point technology. Since he's lacking the memories of Christina's murder, he technically didn't do it, and can't be sentenced for it. He was also the one that sent the tip under the name Florence. So maybe he said the truth when he claimed he only wanted to save lives. Emma gives David his wife's backup later on during Christina's funeral, so he will always be reminded of the life he destroyed. After that, having at last moved on, she returns home and plays the piano without the recording. Please hit the subscribe button and turn on notification TP. Enjoy summaries like this. Thank you for watching.